What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Earn it, save it, invest it. In this video, I'm going to quickly go over what I think is going to happen in the stock market. The stock market has been going crazy over the last few months. So I kind of want to go over that really quick and explain what's been going on and what I think is going to happen over the next few months, basically for the rest of 2025. So let's just jump into it. So the stock market, whoever's been investing in the stock market, most of you have, will have noticed that it has been very volatile. It's been going up, down, up, down, up, down. Over the last couple weeks, it's been just going up. And about a month before that, all it could do was go down, right? It seems as if once we had the election in November, the stock market has been very volatile. And it's very Trump-y in the sense of when he was president, the stock market was more volatile than usual. It had more ups and downs than the usual stock market in a presidency. So now that Donald Trump is president again, we're going to have more volatility in the stock market. So once he became president, stock market shot up. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's going to be great, right? He's going to cut regulations and cut taxes and do all this. He's a businessman. He's the man of the business. He's the man of the corporation. So they're going to make more money, make more profits. Therefore, stock prices go up. And then we had a little bit of a pullback, right? Everyone's saying, well, hold on. He's not going to be able to do all that he's doing. He's not going to be able to do all of that right away. Let's calm it down a little bit. But then we got back up. We're like, okay, well, hold on. He's still the president, right? We're going to keep going. That was in about, January or so, February. And it started just booming up. And then it went back down again in, February, March, or the end of February to March, started going back down. And it was over tariffs. We've gone through this story before. We have gone through the tariff story with Donald Trump before. He's done it in 2018 and the stock market dropped. Now let's quickly go over the charts and it will give us a real good idea of what's to happen next. So if we look at 2018, let's go back. Now this is my QQQ. It essentially follows the NASDAQ. Now if we go back to 2018, we had, when he became president, we had 1, 2, 3, and this is before, that was COVID, but we had 3 heavy drops. Let's say 2 heavy drops. Let's take away COVID. He had at least 2 major drops in the market. This one wasn't as long. This one lasted 161 days, right? From when it hit the top, then it dropped, and it couldn't reach that point again to kind of get past it for 160 days. The thing is, too, it really never actually completely passed that point, right? When you look at the stock market, it wasn't until 791 days where the market actually never looked back. From Donald Trump's first time in office and his first little correction, crash, whatever you want, it didn't actually escape. If you had invested all your money on that day, it would have taken you 784 days to make your money back. That was his first correction. The second one he had, it lasted about 371 days, right? From dropping all the way and then kind of making it to the top and essentially not looking back. Again, if we take away the COVID drop, things look a little bit better. But still, right, even if we were to take this one, right, and you went all in over there, you still had 400, almost 500 days of making no profits. So the second correction he had, which it actually dropped 23%. The NASDAQ dropped 23%. The first one, it dropped 10%. All of these triangles represent at least a 10% or more drop. This triangle is 23%. This was at the end of 2018, and if you were an investor at that time, I remember we got hammered. It was bad. Dropped 23%, and then it kind of never looked back once it fell, to the trough, December of 2018. It never looked back. Of course, COVID, it pulled it back a lot, but he had 2 major drops. He had a correction that was, a slight correction, 10%, and then we had a crash, 23%. They each lasted 161 days, the other one 371 days. Now remember, you have to understand, he was already in presidency for about a year before any of that happened. And the reason why that happened was because the first time he was president, he didn't have the control, he didn't have the power, he didn't have the know-how, he didn't have the team, he didn't have everything together. He became president the first time. Okay, now let me try to get everything going. The second time around, he had 4 years to plan. While Biden was president, he had 4 years to plan. So right when he became president, he went full force. He went right into action, knowing he only has this 4 years. Unless they try to change a law where he could be a president for a third term, he essentially only has now 4 more years to get everything he wants to get done. So he's moving at a faster pace. So everything happened sooner. Everything's happening a year earlier. Now all these impacts, the tariffs, all this stuff is happening his first year of presidency rather than his second year of presidency. But if we look back, and if we know who Donald Trump is, we should know he does not want the stock market to drop. He does not want it to drop. He does not want it to fall. Do you think he has stocks? Do you think he's in the market? He's heavily in the stock market. A lot of his friends, his partners, everyone is in the stock market around him, and he does not want it to fall and stay down. Now, he has made comments of, we got to feel the pain. It's going to be, there's going to be a little hurt along the way, but at the end of the day, he does not want it to stay down. And if you look at from when he started his presidency, right around here, January 2017, all the way up here to 20, the stock market went up. It went up, but we had a few corrections. Now, what we need to do is look at these corrections again and kind of look at what happened in the past. This one lasted 140 days. The carry trade. Now, this was before he was even a president. So we can't even do any of this. Was Biden. This was the carry trade. Everyone freaked out in July and August of 2024. But we ended up coming back. A big part of this boost right here was the election. Donald Trump becoming president, winning the election, it boosted up. But then again, tariffs, right? The big tariff talk. This happened around what? This is December, January, where people were like, oh, we got, wait, is he going to be able to do what he can do? Oh, yes, he can. Oh, yeah, sure. And oh, wait, no, tariffs. Tariffs have brought it down. Now, of course, he is scaled back a little bit about how much he's going to, put on other countries and stuff like that. But it seems like no matter what, there's going to be something happening. There's going to be tariffs being put on countries more than what it was in the past. But it doesn't essentially mean that we're going to have a stock market crash. Oh, the stock market's now going to go down. No, things got a little bit more expensive slightly, but it's not the end of the world. But what we have to look at is right now we are currently at 90 days. We are 90 days in this triangle, right? 83, 90 days. We're somewhere, it's around that time frame. The last one, it took 140 days to get out. The one before that, 140 days. This one was the 2022 when we had the interest rates. We had everything going on. I had a brain fart, inflation. 2022 was filled with inflation and the interest rates. A lot of it had to do with COVID, right? Coming out of COVID, where they released a lot of money into the economy. The prices were fluctuating in ways that we haven't seen before. And then so inflation hit, the interest rates went up. So 2022 was a different year. But we look at that, it took 785 days. 785 days to get out of that triangle, right? From the peak, from the very top to the bottom, that took 407 days. And then it took another 378 days to get out of that. So, but that was a big one. Let's go to the smaller ones. 111 days, 105 days, 118 days, 371. Now that one was a big one. That one was the big tariff talk. Okay, and we have to remember this. This was the tariff talk in 2018. And this is what I'm going to compare this crash to what's happening. The one that we're currently going, and I can compare it to the one in 2018 because it just has a very similar feeling to it. In 2018, it took 371 days for us to get out of it. Now, again, if we look at COVID, it did dip back down, but that was COVID. It took us 371 days to get out. It was a fast drop. 84 days to go down, 23%. 84 days. And then it only took 287, but it took 287 days to get back, right? So it took only 84 days to drop, but it took 287 days to get back up. You have to remember crashes will happen a lot faster than it coming back up. This was a even faster crash, I believe. 48 days. It took 48 days to go down 24%. The other one was 84 days to go down 23%. We have it dropped so significantly that was the time to buy. I preached it to my friends and family. I was preaching it to people. I mean, I don't want to be trying to tell people this, you should buy, right? But when you look at how fast it dropped, it just was like, that's not going to sustain itself, right? I mean, it took 34 days for the NASDAQ to drop 28% for COVID. I mean, that is, you're talking similar. It was a bigger drop and a quicker drop for COVID. But other than COVID, this might be the biggest one. I mean, we dropped 15% in 28 days for the carry trade, right? Dropped almost 25% in 48 days. That is significant. But what I want to keep focused on is the triangle, right? We have all these triangles, and I keep track of them, and I try to get like, okay, where we kind of remain out of the triangle for a little bit. Right here, clearly we were still in a triangle, and then we had another one happen. For this one, this is my belief. This is just my personal belief. We have 140 days. We have 140 days. You know, let's skip that one. All these like little kind of minor crash, right? 111, 105. Everything seems to be at least 100 days. At least 100 days. So let's go to 111 days. That seems fair, right? This is where I think we're going to go, and we're going to hit this mark. We're going to come back. We're going to complete the triangle, but not completely. This is what I think it's going to look like. This is what it's going to look like. I don't want to say I guarantee, because you can't guarantee anything in life, and especially the stock market. But what I think is going to happen is we're going to reach over that point of our high, the NASDAQ's high. It's going to go over, and then it's going to have a drawback. There's going to be some news. Everyone's going to be talking about, okay, wait, hold on. But how are we going to reach new highs if we are having tariffs? Like, the tariffs are going to have an impact, aren't they? So why are we reaching new highs? If we drop so low over the story of tariffs, why are we reaching new highs and nothing has changed? I think that's going to cause a little bit of fear in the market. I think that's going to cause it to go down a little bit. Now let's see how big of a crash that was. Another 10% or so over a month. I think that is going to happen again. I think that we are going to get to this point around, what is this? I'm going to start calling actual dates. Beginning of June, June 2nd to June 9th. So the first week or two of June, we will finally be reaching new highs. 2 to 3 weeks after that, we will be dipping back down under the highs, and we will have in July and August, from July at some point into August, there will be a 10% correction. A 5 to 10% correction in the NASDAQ or the S&P 500, all that. Then after that, we will come back up, and then we will leave the triangle after that. I think by then things will be more confirmed, details will be more hashed out, and I think people will just have more clarity on the situation, and then we can move forward from there. But right now I still think there's questions. There hasn't been any impact. No one has been saying, oh, the tariffs have impacted our numbers. Like, no one's saying anything about tariffs right now anymore. Everyone was screaming and crying and complaining about tariffs just a couple weeks ago, and now no one's talking about it. The tariffs will have an impact. There's going to be impact, but I think there's going to be a fight where he's going to say, hey, the tariffs are going to, it's going to start causing a little bit of inflation. And the thing is, you have to know that Donald Trump is not against Jerome Powell, but he wants Jerome Powell to lower rates. Well, one of the ways you can lower rates is by saying, hey, things are getting more expensive for these people. They need to have lower interest rates. And I think that he's going to use tariffs against Jerome Powell to get interest rates lowered. And I think when he starts getting interest rates lowered, he'll have more negotiating talks about tariffs. And then at the end of the day, at the end of 2025, beginning of 2026, we will have an economy that has lower tariffs than we thought we were going to have and lower interest rates. That will then shoot the stock market up eventually. Now, I said that's at the end of 2025 and 2026. That's what I think is going to happen. But regardless, I think the interest rates are going to start coming down. I think that will get people excited. And if the tariffs can come down, it's more excitement. And after that, I just don't see any big bad news happening unless there's a war or something like that. But after that, there's really nothing big. There's no big catalyst to make the stock market go up or down, right? Right now, I think the big catalysts are tariffs. Are the tariffs going to stay where they are? Are they going to get lowered? Interest rates, how is that going to happen? And is there going to be any retaliatory tariffs? What's happening with that? And I think the more clarity we get, the more we're going to see Trump is not going to go the 100%. He's not going to do all that. And then we're going to say, oh, okay, it's lower than what we thought. Okay, interest rates might be able to get lower. Yeah, I think all this good news is going to start flowing in. But I do believe we're going to have a hiccup. We're going to have another quick tariff scare. We're going to have some kind of scare of a tariff, or something's going to happen before we can completely get out of this triangle. Right when we hit that triangle, right? I said we're going to hit it in the beginning of June. We're going to go up for another couple weeks or 3 weeks, something like that. And then in the summer, July, August, we're probably going to crash a little bit. This is just me saying what I think is going to happen. There's no way of me guaranteeing any of this. I can't see the future. I'm just saying what I think is going to happen. What I said was going to happen in this last time, it's now happened. Last summer with the carry trade, I bought heavily into Nvidia when everything dropped. Ended up being a good decision for me. I just had a feeling. I was like, look, this is just a nonsensical drop. With the tariffs, I understood it. I understood how it can impact the economy, how it can impact prices and money and people's personal situations. At the same time, I also saw this drawdown way too heavy for something that's not done. The tariffs weren't actually put in place yet. The tariffs kept being pushed off. The tariff number kept changing. So, but I also, before any of that happened, I actually was heavier into cash in January into February, because I had a feeling. I said, look, this market is going to push up, but something's going to happen. Trump is going to go harder, quicker, faster in his first year than he did his first term. And it's what happened. So I'm no guru. I'm no I am no future teller, fortune teller, anything like that. But what I do think is going to happen based off the charts, and I'm only saying what I'm saying off the charts. I mean, I looked at HIMS stock. Right? If you look at HIMS, and I have all my stuff drawn out, I was just basing it off what I was seeing. I looked at all the numbers. I read HIMS, all the income statements, the balance sheet, the cash flow. I looked at their investor relations. I was checking out their, what they were giving everyone, the presentations, and everything was just screaming, buy here, buy here. I put this little box here because I was just saying this is when you should buy. And now look at it. I mean, if you had just bought, even at the very top of what I was saying to buy, and you're at it now, you're at a 70% gain. I believe in myself that I can do some decent predictions by what the stock market is telling me, by what the economy is telling me, by what the charts are telling me. At the same time, do not follow everything I say. Do not follow me. Follow yourself. Do your own research. Do all of that yourself, because if you will literally just buy things based on what other people do, you're not going to you might even be able to make some money, but you won't feel good either. You won't feel good. Trust me. If you just buy stock and, oh, cool, yeah, I made money on it. But why? Oh, because I followed someone else. So you copied someone, If you feel that, hey, what he is saying sounds right. Hey, what he's saying might be true. Oh, I think what he's saying is going to happen. Still do your research. Still go into it. Go look at, hey, is the market, is it what he's saying true? Is the economy this? And come up with your own conclusions. My conclusion, stock market's going to drop in the summer. We're going to keep going up over the next couple weeks into early June. Then we're going to kind of stable off. We're going to have one of these moments right here, right? Like where it kind of goes up, down a little bit, and then we have a drop. I'm not exactly sure if it's July or August when the next budget spending bill is going to come up, and if they have to do a government shutdown and all that stuff is going to, right? Those things kind of play a factor into it. I just think the summertime is going to be hard. I know typically September and August are actually not good times for the market. So I could be a month or two off. Again, you don't want to completely just listen to everything, like follow what I have to say. But I do believe that the market's going to go up. It's going to come back down a little bit. And then by the end of the year, we will be in a positive territory for all the indexes. And 2026, I think, so far is going to be a good year. Not 100% sure. You know, of course, any kind of news can come out. But I think the buying opportunities are going to be, it's always a buying opportunity. You always want to have time in the market, not trying to time the market. You buy a little bit now, buy a little bit in a few weeks, buy a little bit in a month, buy a little bit in 2 months, 3, and you'll be averaging out just fine. So again, thank you for watching. It was a little bit longer of a video than I wanted to do, but I quickly just wanted to say, hey, this is what I think is going to happen in the NASDAQ. It's just kind of the charts that's what they're kind of telling me. That's what the economy is telling me. That's what Donald Trump's first president is kind of hinting at what it could look like. But this is just all my opinion. So yeah, go ahead and please like and subscribe to my channel. If you liked any of this stuff, I'm going to be putting out a little bit more of these videos. I'm going to try to make them a little bit shorter. But yeah, again, I think the stock market's going to do well. I think we're going to have a little bit of turbulence coming up here soon. But always have your time in the market and don't try to time the market. Thank you for watching my video. And again, never forget to earn it, save it, invest it, buy low, sell high. I want assets, not liabilities, and you can count on compounded interest.